2024. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crawley. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, as a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those of you who are calling in, please ensure that your line is muted. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Today, as you all know, April is National County Government Month, and we've talked a bit previously about county government across the country and the history of Franklin County itself. Today, I have a few facts for you from our upcoming State of the County report, which will be released on April 24th. As you may know, Franklin County has a more than $2 billion, that's billion with a B, annual budget. But something that you may not know is that we're also one of only about 3% of local governments in the nation that has a AAA bond rating. Now, what does that mean? That's like a credit score that allows us to borrow money at much lower rates. And it demonstrates the care that our budget team and county administration take in safeguarding our residents' tax dollars. Many of you may not know I'm an investment banker away from politics, and that's part of my life. And I would tell you, it's maybe underrated sharing with you how unique it is for a county this size to have a AAA bond rating. And think of it as an 840 credit score. You know, it's really unique, significant, and important, but most importantly reflects how we approach our government management and administration, and most importantly, planning and finance on a day-to-day basis. And while the administration and our budget team lead that process, I can assure you it's the county commissioners ourselves that think about this as we make choices and decisions every day on behalf of the residents of Franklin County. Another thing that you may not know is that more than 56% of the general fund is dedicated and devoted to public safety and security, and almost 40% of all funds budgeted is devoted to human services, each which demonstrates some of our other highest priorities as county commissioners. And to me, what that really says is that Franklin County understands that we're only as strong as those who are most challenged among us. And when we invest in the lives of people who are at the grassroots and on the front line, we're only strengthening the broader capacity of Franklin County. And I know I speak on behalf of my colleagues when we say that that is part of our fundamental value, representing what the residents of Franklin County want us to represent. Something else that we're proud of is the way that we're taking good care of the best local government team in Ohio, which is working every day on behalf of the residents. Approximately 14,000 people are covered by our cooperative health plan, and last year we again were named as one of the healthiest employers in the state of Ohio, or in the state for our size. We even sponsor an annual 5K Thrive On Challenge with more than 500 participants each year from every corner of Franklin County government. It's one of my favorite events. I don't have the capacity to run like I used to for different health reasons, but I really love being out there on that cold Saturday morning, usually in October, right? Mm-hmm. Right? And Commissioner Crawley, we've had our moments together at many of those. I won't share the details of our conversations, but some of them would be funny stories to tell. But the point is that we're a family, but we're a family serving a larger family. And that's what, to me, the 5K Thrive On Run is really about. And so I hope you'll come out and join us. This community is a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family. And as county commissioners, we're proud of everything we're able to do to serve our 1.3 million residents each year, and look forward to sharing our full State of the County report with you on April 24th at Huntington Park. Now, it's not at the full Huntington Park, so we'll not be on the field, and everybody can fill in the stand. It's kind of upstairs on the platform, so we don't have room for everyone. But I just talked with Administrator Wilson, and he believes that we will have the ability to stream the event, and so at some point we'll publish a streaming link, hopefully, in the coming days here. Now, before we get, I'm sorry, before I move on to our first guest, let me offer Commissioner Crawley an opportunity to make a few comments about local government, Franklin County. Commissioner Crawley?
Yeah, thank you, President Boyce. I think you covered it all. I think, and you get to see, we just posted on social media a reel about the new mobile units, the newest mobile units, right? And I'm very excited, and they look nice, and it's going to be great. Can't wait to take it on the road. But this is an opportunity for us to continue to bring government to you, right? Franklin County is a really great place to live, work, and play, and raise a family. We know that it might not feel that way for all of our residents in Franklin County, and that is what we strive for every single day, is for those who feel like they live in a county where they can't move up an economic ladder, or there are barriers in place that prevent them from being self-sufficient and being able to provide for themselves. Those are the people that we work for every single day, and that's why we have the mobile unit. So we are bringing government to the people where they are in the neighborhood. And we also feel like, you know, the people that are closest to the problem are closest to the solution, as you see with our Rise Together Poverty Blueprint Plan, that is the framework for all the things that we do. So as Commissioner Boyce was talking about, the more than $2 billion budget that we have, that goes right back into the community, into services, resources, community-based organizations that the community feels like have a pulse on their issues and their problems and are helping them every single day. So I say all the time, being a county commissioner is a great gig. Most people don't even know what it is. I learn every day something new, but I think that's what we're taking pride in. You see us out trying to educate people on what county commissioners do, how we work for the people, and how Franklin County really is a great place to be.
Thank you, Commissioner Crawley, for that. I knew you'd have something substantive to add to that, but I don't want to sit here too much on our county government life. But it really is we have a unique ability to affect the quality of life in Central Ohio, and I will tell you that's changing. You know, it wasn't too long ago that I was the first African American to be elected as a county commissioner in the history of Franklin County, and then it was not even more recent that we elected the first African American woman. And today we have a majority African American, a majority minority board, which is an evolution for Central Ohio. It's a evolution for Franklin County, and it's pardon me, it's an important evolution because what it says is that we're changing as a community in how we look at leadership, how our ideas resonate, and more importantly, the trajectory of where we're headed. And so it's just not a better time to be a part of Franklin County. And you know, we mentioned the human services role that we play. And to me, that's the most valued part of the job for me, is being able to affect those who most need our help. And we don't solve every problem, we don't get at every issue, but we try. And our goal, as you said so eloquently, our goal is to have that impact and difference. So thank you on behalf of Commissioner Crawley and Commissioner O'Grady, who's can't be with us today. He's in jury duty.
I want to be called. I want to be called for jury duty.
Listen,
I do.
So you've never been called before?
No.
Because neither have I. And I really feel like some kind of way about that.
Right.
You know,
I feel like that is like the epitome of civic duty, right? It's like showing up and hearing a case and then being able to deliberate.
But you know they would dismiss you right away.
But they didn't dismiss.
But they did. I was like,
Commissioner O'Grady, they didn't release him.
That's true. I was like, yeah. I mean, but so,
that's probably why I'm too eager to be on jury duty. They're like, no.
I'm not eager to be on, but I just don't understand how I've not been called before. I've never even got a notice. And I know people that have gotten 10 notices. It's like, wait a minute, something. I feel like I'm not in the system or something. I feel I do. I am, and I've been since 18, but I feel like there's something going on. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. We digress.
Sorry.
But that's where Commissioner O'Grady is. He'd be here, but for that. And,
President Boyce.
Administrator
Kenneth Wilson,
Wilson,
Administrator.
please.
Next time I get the opportunity and I get called, I'm gonna ask, can I petition the court to allow you to? you or
I don't
Mr.
think it
Crawley
works
to
that way.
replace me?
I don't think it works that way, but okay. You
I
can
volunteer as
target
tribute.
Commissioner Crawley first, and then I don't want to go that bad. You know, I'm just saying. I think it's weird that I've never been called before. So, all right.
I've had my turn to hang out over there.
But before we go, and you might have said it, so I want to talk about, I mean, as you mentioned, we have a majority minority board, and that doesn't resonate with everyone. I was speaking this past weekend with a group, and the president wanted me to talk about my experience and how I got to be here. And it's one thing to say that you're the first Black person elected to whatever space, but there's a lot that comes with that. And just because our voting population has changed and they want to see representation, that doesn't mean that everybody feels that way. And it's not always easy to lead in this county. It's not easy to be the only woman. When I first became a commissioner, Commissioner Boyce and I got a letter or an email that was very threatening to share how they weren't happy with either of us being here. But for me, that continued. And, you know, we have to make sure where normally I would have an office that everybody could just walk in. You can't do that, and that's disheartening. And so I love the fact that, you know, you get to see different kind of representation here, but we work for every single person, all of our residents, those who want us here and those who don't. My mission is to make sure that this community is better than how I found it. And so I would hope that people's attitude changes to have a me here or to have a Commissioner Boyce. But even if it never does, it will never stop the work and the passion that I have to impact every single life here to make sure that everyone has the same opportunities to thrive and not just survive.
So you keep making me think of other stuff when you start talking, because I do want to say, people oftentimes see us get up here and everything is yes, yes, yes. We vote on yes, yes, yes. You hardly ever see dissension. But the reality is that behind the scenes, we have a lot of dissension and discussion. So when it gets here, and I say that because I don't want you to think that because there's a majority-minority board and you know, that it's all, and we just get up here and yes, 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 yes. We have a lot of discussions, and often we disagree on things, and usually the difference is we can work towards a point of agreement and keep the county moving forward. And I will add that Commissioner O'Grady brings really strong perspective too many times, and so to the public who may not see us, and I think that's the beauty of the three commissioners, quite frankly, is we can disagree behind the scenes, but we work toward what we think is the best direction for Franklin County. So by the time it gets out here, we are in agreement. Doesn't mean that we will always be, but what I like about what this means for the board is that we're having a deep, critical thinking approach and really what I think a broad sense of leadership to the board that I think gives us an even higher value than the public may see.
Yeah,
you know?
I would
So,
agree wholeheartedly.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Crawley, if I may, Joy
Yes, please.
Bivens, Deputy County Administrator of Health and Human Services. As you all were talking about this being Government Month, I would be remiss, and I hope I do not put you on the spot, both of you commissioners. This week is also Black Maternal Health Week.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
In this community, there are more Black babies that die than any babies, and it is a national epidemic. This commissioner board has made tremendous investments from the perspective of doulas to home visiting to all the things. And I know there's some stuff that's coming today on the agenda, but Commissioner Crawley presented a resolution with the CEO of Celebrate One at Columbus City Council yesterday. So I wanted to lift that up just in case during the agenda that, you know, folks kind of tuned out. But if you know a mother, if you are a mother, if you see a mother in a community, check on them. Make sure that you let them know what resources are available to them so that we can disrupt the death of babies dying in this community.
Yeah, I thank you for sharing that, D.C. Bivens. I didn't realize that. And I got to tell you again, I make this last compliment about our work, Commissioner Crawley has really been a leader in that voice. This is going to be embarrassing for me to say, but I really didn't understand what a doula was before she got here. And she was, if you remember our conversation, and you helped me understand not only what a doula was, but the role that it plays in the process of delivering a child and for the mother specifically. And so I've become slightly versed on it, but more importantly, recognize the value in that. And so I just want to recognize that and thank you. And thanks for bringing that up, DCA.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate you lifting it up. April is Minority Health Month. And there are activities and resources and community organizations having events all throughout the month. But this is Black Maternal Health Week, April 11th through April 17th. And as I was with President Hightower, who's the chair of the board for Celebrate One, I am one of the newest members, and Danielle Tong is the executive director. Councilwoman Favor presented a resolution to highlight that because Black women in particular are dying at sometimes 4 to 6 times the rate of white women during and after childbirth, and that most of the deaths, almost 80% of the deaths, are deemed to be preventable. And so we know, and then in the state of Ohio, among all women, 67% of the deaths are deemed to be preventable. And so if we know that, then we know that there's things that we can do about it. But we also know that we go into a healthcare system that doesn't treat everyone fairly and equitably, right? I have shared my own personal story with the coroner. He had an event with a traumatic pregnancy that I had and then complications after. I won't recite that here because it could be re-traumatizing all the time. But, to be dismissed or to have my complaints be dismissed is how people die. I was dealing with internal bleeding and was just dismissed and sent home. And that is what we know contributes to the death when our complaints aren't taken seriously, when racism or discrimination gets in the way of the care and the treatment. But when we have access to doulas or have access to midwives, which we will talk about a resolution later on the agenda coming from Human Resources, we know that when birthing people have and women have access to doulas, that it can decrease the mortality rate by 50%, decrease the infant mortality rate by 50%. We know that doulas and midwives, especially in rural areas where it's hard to get to a hospital, hard to get to a primary care physician, that a doula or midwife can be life-saving. And a doula is that social and emotional needs, but they also take vitals. They also communicate with an OBGYN. They are not a replacement for a physician. They are part of the birthing team. But they understand the community that people come from. They understand the special needs that people may have, and they treat them as humans and not just patients. And so happy to lift up April as Minority Health Month as well as County Government Month, but this is Black Maternal Health Week, and I appreciate my colleagues for leading in the investments before I even came to the board and then upping those investments while I've been here. Franklin County had the first community health worker program with Ohio State and their School of Nursing. We make sure that we have community health workers at Franklin County Public Health. We have a partnership with Root, Restoring Our Own Through Transformation, that's led by Jessica Roach, making sure that our residents have access to doula care. We give millions of dollars to Celebrate One for their infants, for infant health and initiatives, but for birth equity work that they're working hard on to change the course of the mortality rate and morbidity rate. And morbidity are those near misses, those things that impact health ongoing after a pregnancy. But we can't, if we're talking about Government Month and how we work for the people, if we don't have a healthy community, or those in our community are dying, or they don't have access to housing because housing determines your life expectancy as well, then we can't be this great place where we talk about service progress and excellence, or this is a great place to live, work, and play, and raise a family, when we know that the leading cause of maternal deaths is addiction and mental health, things that we can treat, things that we can help. And so, anyways, I won't belabor the point, but there's more work that we can be doing in this space. I'm glad that I work with commissioners and administration who get it and don't push back on those investments and encourage them. And then we have the mobile health unit. just the Health and Human Services unit that will be going out into the community serving these residents as well.
I'm just so looking forward to hanging out with you on the mobile units and getting out into the community. And I think we're going to have a good, fun and productive spring with those mobile units. So
I'm excited.
yeah, me too. I am too.
Money well spent.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, let's keep this agenda moving and get you all out of here today. Next, before we get to the regular agenda, we do have, we think, perhaps a special guest with us. Is Jennifer Fish online? Because I don't see her here in the audience. And or is there anyone here from the Franklin County Soil and Water Conservation District to tell us a little bit about Earth Day and what we can do to celebrate locally and help conserve Franklin County's natural beauty and natural resources for generations to come? Anybody? Does anybody care to speak about that? Seeing that there is no one here, we'll maybe delay that next week and come back to it. Let's dig right into the agenda. Madam Clerk? Oh, I don't see it on here. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Commissioner Crowley. Oh, yeah, I apologize. Is there approval of the minutes for the January 9th, 2024 general session and the January 11th, 2024 briefing session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes,
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
thank you. First up is the coroner.
Resolution number 30224, resolution authorizing submission and approval of the pre-award condition forms in order to submit for the 2023 Paul Coverdell Forensic Science Improvement Grants Program by the Franklin County Forensic Science Center, Office of the Coroner.
Good morning, I'm Dan Baker, Chief Toxicologist at the Franklin County Coroner's Office. We intend on applying for the Paul Coverdell Forensic Science Improvement Grant. The Coroner's Office is required to agree to a series of pre-award conditions as part of this application, including those related to civil rights and equal employment opportunity. The Coverdell Grant will provide the Coroner's Office funding to purchase laboratory supplies, equipment, and consulting services to offset increased opioid-related testing costs, reduce forensic toxicology backlogs, and expand our testing scope. The overall result will be enhancement of the services provided by our office to the communities of Franklin County. I request your support and approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 30224.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 30224 has been adopted.
Great, thank you. Next is the engineer's office. We have a public hearing for Resolution 303-24. Can the clerk please read the public hearing?
Plans approved for the improvement of Klaus Road, Township Road number 347, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who'd like to speak at this public hearing? Okay, seeing that there are none, I'd like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 30324, plans approved for the improvement of Klaus Road, Township Road number 347, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. My name is Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering for County Engineer Foster. This first resolution authorizes plan approval for the improvement of Klaus Road, located in northeast Franklin County in Plain Township. This project will install approximately 1,100 feet of 42-inch storm sewer conduit and structures. Construction is scheduled to begin in spring of 2024. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 30324.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 30324 has been adopted. Resolution number 30424, preliminary allocation and final encumbrance of county motor vehicle license fee $5 funds for the city of Bexley in the amount of $50,000.
Commissioners, the City of Bexley has submitted a request for license fee funds to pay for a portion of their OPWC loan payment on the previously completed Cassidy Avenue project from East Broad Street to Delmore Drive. County engineer has viewed the proposed use of these funds and has determined that they meet the allowable use. Pending any questions, I'd be happy to answer those at this time.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 30424.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 30424 has been adopted. Resolution number 30524, preliminary allocation and final encumbrance of county motor vehicle license fee $5 funds for the city of Whitehall in the amount of $517,000.
City of Whitehall has submitted a request for license fee funds to pay for a portion of the reconstruction of East Broad Street between Collingwood Avenue and Beechwood Road. County engineers also reviewed the proposed use of these funds and determined that they meet the allowable use. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the board's approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 30524.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 30524 has been adopted. Resolution number 30624, resolution approving a second contract modification with J&J Schlegel Incorporated for the Elliott Road and Hayden Run Road Drainage Improvement Project, an increase of $50,728.49 for a revised contract amount of $3,231,403.67.
Commissioners, as mentioned, this resolution seeks to authorize a contract modification with J&J Schlegel, Inc. for the Elliott Road and Hayden Run Road Drainage Improvement Project, an increase of $50,728.49 for a revised contract amount of $3,231,403.67. During the course of construction, a Columbia gas line was not properly relocated by the utility company, leading to financial impacts to the contractor. Additionally, there were other unforeseen delays that contributed to increased contractor costs. A portion of these costs associated with the change order will be reimbursed to the engineer by Columbia Gas. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the board's approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 30624.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 30624 has been adopted. Resolution number 30724, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to the Shelley Company for the 2024 Franklin County Resurfacing Program in the amount of $1,935,036.70.
Commissioners, as mentioned, this final resolution seeks to award the contract and approve the contract bond to the Shelley Company for the Franklin County's 2024 resurfacing program. This year's program includes 9 roads. The Shelley Company was selected via the competitive bid process with the bid opening on March 19th, 2024. This is a locally funded project, and the engineer's EBE program has been implemented with an EBE goal of 8%. Buds Inc. is the EBE contractor being utilized on this project. The utilization plan form has been submitted, and the Shelley Company anticipates the actual EBE percentage being exceeded. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the board's approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 30724.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 30724 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the sheriff.
Resolution number 30824, resolution authorizing a contract with Com Products Incorporated, doing business as BNC Communications, for the provision of maintenance and repair of fixed, mobile, and portable radio equipment in the amount of $258,480.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Albert Smith, Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. This resolution authorizes a 2-year agreement through April 16th of 2026 with BNC Communications for the maintenance and repair of Sheriff's Office radio equipment. This contract will not exceed $258,480. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 30824.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 30824 has been adopted. Resolution number 30924, resolution authorizing the execution of the pre-award conditions and future acceptance of a 2023 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant to reduce gang violence in the amount of $149,825.53.
Commissioners, our last resolution will allow the Sheriff's Office to accept pre-award conditions and future award letter for $149,825.53 Justice Assistant Grant from the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services. This grant will allow our office to continue to fight to reduce gang violence in Franklin County. The grant will be used to fund a crime intelligence analyst and other equipment. The Sheriff's Office's duties will include administration, implementation, and oversight of the grant. The grant period is from today through December 31st of this year. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 30924.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 30924 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Office of Aging.
Resolution number 31024, resolution authorizing a contract modification and extension agreement with NetCare Corporation for various expert forensic evaluation services in the amount of $15,000.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. Shonda Wingo, Director for the Office on Aging. This resolution authorizes a contract modification and extension with NetCare Corporation to provide expert evaluation services in the amount of $15,000. The NetCare Corporation helps adults in needs of behavioral health and emotional support by providing comprehensive, evidence-based services needed to attain recovery and maintain well-being. NetCare also helps the courts and community agencies by providing professional evaluations and assessments for those in need of them. The Franklin County Office on Aging entered a contract agreement with NetCare Corporation on April 4th, 2023, under the approval of Resolution 0267-23 for the provision of expert forensic evaluation services specifically for adult protective services. FCOA wishes to extend the original contract for one additional year period and modify the original contract to include an hourly rate and an updated referral form. The rate for each completed statement of expert evaluation for the referred individuals is $5.25 per hour, and the rate of the case consultation or of referred individuals is $150 per hour. The Franklin County Office on Aging wishes the authorization of the contract modification and extension with the NetCare Corporation to provide expert evaluations not to exceed the dollar amount of $15,000 for the time period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st of 2024, with 2 one-year extension periods remaining. This resolution supports goal number 7 and number 9 of the Franklin County Rise Together Blueprint, and pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 31024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31024 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is community partnerships.
Resolution number 31124, resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant with Jewish Family Services to support an HVAC replacement project in the amount of $75,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Brittany Hilliard, Community Partnership Coordinator. This resolution authorizes a COVID-19 recovery grant with Jewish Family Services for $75,000. Under the terms of this agreement, Jewish Family Services will be able to update their HVAC system to provide a cleaner and healthier environment for their employees and clients they serve. The current system is at the end of its lifespan and is unable to accommodate the type of air filtration needed for a healthy work environment. Jewish Family Services has requested $75,000 to cover half of the overall cost and will secure separate funding for the total repair amount. We have Karen Mosenter, CEO, to answer any of your questions.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 31124.
Did you look like you had something to say?
Oh, sorry.
Do you? You don't have to. You don't have to. It's okay.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you for this support. And I also wanted to thank Deputy County Administrator Bivens for the wonderful visit we had with the Health and Human Service Leadership Team week before last, I guess, where we got an opportunity to talk about the other support that the county provides Jewish Family Services that's helping us achieve the goals of the Poverty Blueprint. And so we want to thank you for that. It really involves helping what President Boyce just referred to as the most valuable part of the job, the human service part. And that has enabled us to work with individuals from neighborhoods of concentrated poverty, from low-income households, helping people find jobs at better-than-living wages with career advancement opportunities, and helping older adults age in place. So with this grant today, we're able to provide those folks a healthier environment when they're in our office, as well as for our dedicated staff, and also help us put more of the resources toward the actual work instead of utility costs.
You're a great partner. Oh, DCA Bivens?
And I just want to thank you so much. I just wanted to lift up Jewish Family Services. You all play a tremendous role in this community in supporting all of our residents, but particularly one of the things that really honed in and really hit my heart was how you support our new American citizens. You know, they walk into your facility and it feels like home no matter who it is. So thank you for all the work that you do, and we look forward to working with you post that meeting, because I think we have a lot of ideas.
Great, thank you so much.
Well said. And I second the motion that's been made by Commissioner Crawley.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31124 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Resolution number 31224, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with Stonewall Columbus to help fund their annual Pride March, Festival, and Resource Fair in Franklin County in the amount of $50,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Perla Martinez, she, her pronouns, DEI Administrator with the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, a historic turning point in the movement toward equal rights for LGBTQ people occurred on June 28, 1969 at the Stonewall Inn in New York City. A year later, in June of 1970, Brenda Howard, often called the Mother of Pride, helped to plan a Gay Pride Week, and the Christopher Street Liberation Day Parade began. Stonewall was then solidified as a key movement in the LGBTQ civil rights movement by the marches that began a year later. In Columbus, the event first took place in 1981, drawing 200 people. That same year, Stonewall Union, now known as Stonewall Columbus, was founded with the goal of increasing visibility, inclusion, and connection for the LGBTQ community, so we see a community where all of us thrive. For 43 years, Stonewall Columbus has served the Central Ohio community, working to uplift LGBTQ identities. Their annual Pride Festival in March serves as the organization's largest fundraiser that secures the needed funds to support Stonewall's community programs that include from free health and legal aid clinics to family planning, racial justice resources, veteran services, amongst others. And their Columbus Pride Festival, March, and Resource Fair has now welcomes over 700,000 visitors to the Columbus region, making it the largest Pride parade in the Midwest. Central Ohio is now recognized as one of the most LGBTQ-friendly regions in the United States. Denzel Porteous, Executive Director for Stonewall, is present online to answer some questions and give some remarks about this grant agreement, and after that, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution. Denzel?
Thank you. I'm so honored to be with you all this morning, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. One day I will be in the room with you all. Commissioners, county administrators, I think this gift speaks tremendously to what we try to achieve here, not only in Columbus, as our name suggests, but quite frankly, across the county, across the region, and across the state. We are creating space to make sure that we see our community feel welcomed, uplifted, and recognized, ensuring that they are thriving with all that we do. And so this gift allows us to create a festival and a space of welcomeness, of community, of great opportunity to show our community connection and strength, not only from our public and private partnerships, but also from our elected officials who join us as well. And as Perla said, which we are so thankful for, this is our largest fundraiser that annually helps us and empowers us to be able to serve over 10,000 visitors who come to our center each year, and the 30,000 people who seek our services across the year as well. So again, we are so thankful and grateful for our continued engagement and partnership with our community and our county, and we are really, really thankful today. So thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Love the glasses too, by the way.
Thank you.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 31224.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31224 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 31324, resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute an agreement with I Know I Can for support of the Columbus City Schools 2024 Senior Fest in the amount of $135,100.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I Know I Can, whose mission is to inspire, enable, and support Central Ohio students, is pursuing and completing I Know I Can, whose mission is to inspire, enable, and support Central Ohio students in pursuing and completing a college education, will serve as the fiscal agent for the Columbus City Schools Senior Fest. Senior Fest is a highly anticipated annual event that aims to create an atmosphere of celebration and camaraderie, while providing valuable educational opportunities for the graduating seniors. It curates an unparalleled and enjoyable outdoor experience for graduates while serving as a dedicated platform to honor their educational journey, growth, and future success. This event will take place on May 23rd, 2024, and Columbus City Schools graduating seniors will experience live entertainment, performances, guest speakers, and interactive sessions that will include educational and career opportunities, financial literacy, housing, career readiness, and college preparatory sessions. This resolution supports goal number 11 of the Rise Together Blueprint. And today we have Katina Fullen, Executive Director of I Know I Can, as well as Mia Pruitt, Student Leadership and Engagement Supervisor, who's here with remarks and to answer any questions you may have. And after their remarks and pending any questions, we will respectfully ask your approval of this resolution.
All right, good evening, Ms. Fullen.
Good
Good to see you.
morning. Good to see you all. Good morning, Commissioners, County Administrative Team. And just want to give a quick shout out to Tamika. She has been working with I Know I Can for probably 7 or 8 years. And she is, I know you already know this, but just want to remind you, she is one of the best. So thanks for the opportunity for us to work with her. So we just talked about, you just heard a little bit about Senior Fest. Just want to put this event into some context for you. The class of 2024 were 8th graders at the start of the pandemic. So they actually started high school in a virtual learning environment, which I think is important to note because this event is allowing them to finish high school in a celebratory environment with their peers, which is something they did not have the benefit of starting high school. We want to celebrate students who are pursuing any type of post-secondary education, whether it's 2 or 4 year credential certificate programs. We want to celebrate those who are moving into the military, and we want to celebrate those who are entering the workforce, apprenticeship programs, and job training programs. So I like to call this the cheese on top of the broccoli, right? So this celebration is for the students, so the music and the entertainment and the fun, but what is really happening, and don't tell the students, underneath is those education sessions that Tamika mentioned, right? The making sure you have everything you need to show up on a college campus ready to learn, make sure you have a plan for success after high school, right? That you've met with a recruiter, you've taken the ASVAB to get into the military, that you have a job training program, that you're ready to take Columbus State's 20 credit hour course to get you on the floor of Intel, ready to make chips, whatever it may be. We are going to make sure that through CCS, I Know I Can, and so many of our community partners who have such valuable resources, that all of those things are there for the students as they prepare to graduate high school and move on to what's next. So thank you for the opportunity. I think we have more important people here to share a little bit with you than I am, so I'm going to let Mia introduce the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administrators. I am Mia Pruitt, Supervisor of Student Leadership and Engagement for Columbus City Schools, and it is an honor to be here. Tamika and Katina have really summed it up. I just really wanted to share that, or an echo what Katina said, that Senior Fest was established in 2020, and it was a response to the pandemic when our students, and at that time our seniors, had to go home without all of their end of the year memorable activities such as prom, senior breakfast, all those things that we remember. But yet at that time the community came together and honored our students in a bold virtual celebration with inspiring messages, valuable information, music, games, and we did all of this online. So each thereafter, in strong community partnerships, because that's what makes this work, we have continued to build on the excitement of Senior Fest. Now, last year, we took it up a notch, and we brought it home to the football field at Afrocentric, and we truly created a festival atmosphere. And this year, we plan to bring it back and just continue to add to that excellence. So this year, the theme is Get Ready to Soar, Senior Fest 24, Bound for Greatness, because that is what our students are bound for. So just to give you a little bit more, Senior Fest 24 is a special celebration exclusively for our 1,800 plus graduating seniors from Columbus City Schools.
It's a memorable event that marks the end of their 13-year educational journey and provides them with important resources as they transition into adulthood. Like Katina said, they don't know this is really one of my favorite parts. But this will allow them, this Adulting 101 resource fair will have from local businesses, organizations, they will empower our seniors with tips, tools, and strategies for about career pathways, armed services, financial literacy, self-care, housing, community engagement, and social responsibility. And we truly invite you to bring that mobile unit out there for this, and life skills. But I want to sincerely thank you for this opportunity to uplift, celebrate, and educate our graduating seniors. But the most important are here today. I have Miss Aaliyah and Yvonne to share a little bit about Senior Fest.
Hello and good morning. My name is Aaliyah Chenault. I go to Columbus Online Academy. I did go to Fort Hays, but I transferred my sophomore year. I'm currently an early grad, so I skipped the 11th grade, and now I'm a 12th grader. And I am excited to continue my education after high school at Capital University in Bexley, Ohio. I am studying criminology and sociology with minors in chemical dependency and psych. And I'm hoping to go into the field of human trafficking. I just want to say thank you. It hasn't been the easiest in Franklin County growing up, but Senior Fest, I consider it like a big family reunion because I get to see my friends, I get to see people that I grew up with, people that helped me, teachers that have really been not only just support systems to me, but have stepped in and become a parent to me when I needed it. And that is truly amazing to be able to have that support going in, because I know growing up, it's not easy, but being able to say I did it and I'm walking across that stage and I am a first-generation student, it's amazing. So, thank you.
Hello. Sorry. My name is Yvonne Larvey. I'm a senior at Fort Hays High School. And after high school, I plan to go to college for architecture. I might go to New York University or Howard University. And I'm excited for Senior Fest because it gives me the opportunity to connect with other seniors that are like-minded with me from different schools. And I wouldn't be able to do that on a normal day. And I think it gives us, I didn't know about the other college stuff, but I think that's important, and some people don't pay attention to it. So I think it'll really help people get prepared for college. Thank you.
Thank you. DCA Bivens, you just look like you got something to say.
Aaliyah, so I am a graduate of Capital University as well, but the difference between you and I, and correct me if I'm wrong, did you get a full ride to Capital?
I did.
Okay, that's what I heard through a grapevine, that you had a full ride to Capital. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to you as well.
Congratulations to Capital. Sounds like, yeah. Let me ask Commissioner Crawley. I'm absolutely certain she's got something to say here.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on getting into Capital on a full ride. I went to Capital for law school, but my undergraduate degree is in criminology with a focus on juvenile delinquency. And it just warmed my heart to hear you say, like, you're going into human trafficking, and you will, see that is a hard space to be. But I say the people that work in that field and interact with boys and girls, men and women who have been survivors or are survivors of human trafficking, like, you'll be doing God's work. So thank you for having that fire and that passion. I'm like blown away that you want to go into architecture. We're building stuff all the time. So when you go away and you get your degree, if it's NYU or Harvard, really good schools, bring your talents back, because we will need you. We definitely will need you here. But I'm excited about Senior Fest. Thank you for bringing this. DCA Bivens was like, where are you with Senior Fest? Where are you with it? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'll get back. And I was like, oh, of course. Like, yeah, that was a no-brainer. I'm so excited to have an opportunity for kids to celebrate each other, not kids, students to celebrate each other, be in community with each other, but be supported. I wish I had something like that when I graduated from high school. I didn't go on any college visits, and so I wasn't prepared when I went to YSU and then transferred to Toledo, and then I dropped out and I went to the military. So I love to hear that you're supporting students who want to go into the military. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the military being an option when I needed to grow up. So I would love to have an invitation to Senior Fest. I want to celebrate with you all, and we also have resources and stuff too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to celebrating the students. Thank you.
Well, we'll say, the only thing I'll add, maybe a few comments. One, let me just thank the founders of I Know I Can and the work that they've done. I Know I Can has been around for how many years, Katina? 36 years. That ages me. But to people like Techie Shackelford and Cliff Tyree and so many others that had the vision to create I Know I Can, I just think to see how the legacy of I Know I Can has played out for generations is really an incredible thing. I really can't think of any comparables. I really just can't. I tried as you were talking, and I can't think of something that has been so multi-generational. And I say that because I was in the very first class of the citywide I Know I Can efforts, so that really dates myself. But both of my two sons have been I Know I Can participants. One who is a graduate of a double Ivy League graduate, and then the other who is a senior in a school in Los Angeles. And I think about, it's not just the funds that have played a role in both myself being first generation college, and that's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be first generation college, and then my children are first generation, but even better and bigger and doing more. I mean, that's really the American dream, and that's really what I Know I Can was founded to do. And I can honestly say for me, it was a real catalyst to going to college. Commissioner Crawley shared her story. Mine's is somewhat similar. I was an athlete, but I had a severe injury my senior year in high school, and it impacted my trajectory. And the school that I was at, nobody went to college. I mean, it wasn't a common thing. It was not as prevalent as it is today. We didn't have Aaliyahs and Yvonnes who were as talented. We were trying to figure it out and kind of discouraged. But I'll never forget the day I got a call from I Know I Can, and my counselor at the time said, "You're going to college." And she said, and we're going to help you. And coming from a family that hadn't been familiar with the process, and you don't know about FAFSA, and you don't know about talking to college and even the range. All I knew was Ohio State existed, and so going through that process where an adult says to you, "You're going to college, and we're going to help you get there, and here's a scholarship." And at the time, it wasn't that much, but getting a scholarship, it did everything to my mental status to say, you know what, maybe I can go to college. Maybe I know I can go to college. And so I did. And ended up getting my master's, get all that stuff in. But I'm more proud of my sons. I'm more proud of what it did for our family generationally. And Ms. Fullen, I mean, that's the part I think that sometimes we don't talk about is the generations that have done it. So when I see Aaliyah and Yvonne, it's hard not to get choked up listening to you all talk, because I see myself. I see when, Aaliyah, you said you were first generation college, I believe, I remember what that feeling was like. And I remember the greatness that it felt, but I also remember the burden that I thought, oh my gosh, I'm changing don't cry because you're making me cry. But I remember what it meant to the trajectory of my family, and I can assure you that it means something. And I know for myself, it very much did. See what you did? Finally, let me just say to the Get Ready to Soar, a senior class of 24, don't take that as just a slogan. That's real, and you are the leaders. You are the phoenix of this conversation, and don't ever forget that, because you set the bar, you set the tone. Yvonne, I'm, as county commission president, I'm asserting my authority that says when you graduate in architecture, you have to come back to live in Franklin County. I don't know if you know that I have that authority to require that of you, but we need you back here because quite frankly, and I'm being serious about this, this is what makes this conversation work, and this is what makes it great. It's easy, as Commissioner Crawley said, to say, yes, that's an easy investment. But it's because of Aaliyah and Yvonne. It's because of you. It's what you represent. You represent the next generation of Central Ohio. You represent the next county commissioner. You represent the next mayor or the next architect or the next criminologist or leader in human trafficking. And human trafficking is today's slavery. And so what you represent something very, very big, something very, very big. And I don't mean to place that burden at your feet other than to say, you know, I know you'll go off and do great things, but come back to us. Come back and help us build a better Franklin County. You talked about it being difficult being raised here. Absolutely. But that's why we need you to come back. Now, my kids aren't coming back. I'm absolutely convinced one is in D.C. and living there, and the other is in L.A. I made the mistake of letting them go. Right. And so they ain't never coming back. But I say this to them all the time. Let me just conclude by saying that I'm so proud of you. And Ms. Fullen, thank you for what you do. And to Columbus City Schools, as my investment banking world, I had a lot of school districts as my clients. And the relationship between I Know I Can and the Columbus City Schools is what makes this work. It's what made it work from the very beginning. And there's a deeper partnership that exists. And it's probably the example, Ms. Fullen, of how we should be operating with our human services across the board. Across the board. And I happen to know a little deeper about it from my relationship with it, but I'm telling you, it's something that's special, unique. And I know it's not perfect. It's always things that are happening. New superintendents come in and they have different agendas on stuff, but you have survived the test of time and made the difference. And I'm sorry to go on this tangent, but there isn't a better organization and partnership than I Know I Can. There isn't. And thank you to Aaliyah and Yvonne for continuing that legacy and making Central Ohio a great place to live, work, and raise a family. So God bless you all. Thank you so much.
That's good. I wish I had I Know I Can. I didn't
I
have
know,
that.
right?
I didn't have that. I mean, it mattered. But hearing your testimony and what happened with the same thing for your children, like, what happens when you don't have that? When you don't have an organization that just focuses on things like that? I had a guidance counselor who didn't even talk to me about college, right? Like, you do have some who just write off students, and so thank you for sharing that. And I would love to learn more about I Know I Can, and I wish everybody had an I Know I Can partnership. So anyways, yes.
Oh.
Commissioners, if I could briefly, I also wanted to lift up in this moment, I Know I Can, because I know the conversations around the challenges nationally with FAFSA, that real people are losing an opportunity that is critical. And I Know I Can has been at the forefront of making sure students don't fall through the cracks in this moment, not only to fill out the forms, but to be able to get that financial aid to see their dreams come true. And I know you're one of the few organizations that really have made this a priority in this national challenge, but making a difference locally. So thank you.
Thank you.
Just really, really quick, shout out to Mia Pruitt. You had a vision and you said we're going to do it, and thank you. I know you're very humble about how this all originated, so thank you for thinking about our students, because many times we hear about unfortunate things that happen to students after they graduate, when systems and support services were not put in place. So thank you. Last thing really quick, Aaliyah, if I were you see that lady in the back with the orange on? You might want to talk to her. Her name is Director Rochelle Pride. She oversees justice policy and program. She is not a Delta, Chris Long.
She is not.
But she is in the space of the things you're talking about. And then there is another lady.
Internship. Internship.
So I didn't want to say internships. I'm looking at y'all like, I just text Commissioner Crowley, like, they need internships. So me and Miss Mia will talk about the opportunities, okay, for both of you. Absolutely.
That's outstanding. And did you have something else?
I did not.
Okay. All right. Let's get you guys out of here.
If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 31324.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31324 has been adopted.
Thank you. Economic Development and Planning.
Thank you.
Good luck, ladies.
Good
Thank you.
luck.
Good to see you, Mia and Katina.
Resolution number 31424, resolution authorizing an economic development agreement with One Columbus to conduct economic development activities on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners in the amount of $1 million.
Good morning, Commissioners and Administrators. Emmanuel Torres. I'm Assistant Director of Economic Development and Planning. This first resolution I have before you today seeks your approval to authorize the 2024 Annual Partner Agreement with One Columbus to support their Central Ohio Regional Economic Development activities, focusing on new business development, job creation, and job retention in Franklin County. As a result of these activities, it is anticipated that Franklin County will benefit from the creation of approximately 2,500 jobs. Joining us virtually today, I believe we have from One Columbus, Executive Vice President and General Manager Mark Patton, should there be any questions. Oh, you're here. Okay, my apologies. I did not see you there. Good. If you have any comments, please.
No, just wanted to say we appreciate your support, and we look forward in this challenging economic times of landing some great new projects for the region. Thanks.
Thank you so much. If you could just give us just a couple of minutes, we're just going to sort something out.
Yeah, sounds good.
This is a part of a general session that happens. All right. Thank you, Mr. Patton.
Hey, we're going to need to move. We're going to need to move to the next resolution, and I'm going to pause this resolution just briefly and come back to it.
Resolution number 31524, resolution authorizing an economic development agreement with the Greater Columbus Sports Commission to encourage economic development and tourism through attraction, retention, and promotion of sporting events on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners in the amount of $200,000.
Commissioners, this resolution is to authorize the 2024 Annual Partner Agreement with the Greater Columbus Sports Commission. Under the terms of this agreement, the Sports Commission will expand and continue sales activities, marketing, and bidding to bring sporting and competitive events to Franklin County, thereby increasing tourism activities that generate additional bed and sales tax while employing Franklin County residents. During the 2023 grant program year, the Sports Commission was able to accomplish the following. They brought in 137,206 hotel room nights bookings. 99 sports events were hosted and or serviced, and 194 leads were developed for future events. Joining us virtually today, I believe we have Sports Commission, from the Sports Commission, CEO and President Linda Logan. And pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 31524.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31524 has been adopted. Resolution number 316.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 31624, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with Franklin Park Conservatory and Botanical Gardens to administer and run Growing to Green Community Garden Grant, Teen Court, and Farmers Market for the benefit of Franklin County residents and in alignment with the Columbus and Franklin County Local Food Action Plan in the amount of $164,812.
Commissioners, this resolution will authorize a grant agreement with the Franklin Park Conservatory and Botanical Gardens to support local food system programs like the Community Garden Grant, the Growing to Green, Teen Corps, and the Franklin Park Conservatory Farmers Market that will benefit the residents of Franklin County. This resolution meets Franklin County's Rise Together blueprint for reducing poverty goal number 10 and goal number 3. The agreement term is set from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st of 2024. Joining us virtually today from Franklin Park Conservatory and Botanical Gardens, we have Naomi Marino, who's a Corporate and Foundation Relations Manager, as well as Michelle Bailey, a Farmers Market and Teen Corps Program Coordinator. Should you have any questions, and pending any comments or questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 31624.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31624 has been adopted.
All right, let's continue. We'll go back to the previous resolution. Did we just pass that one yet? Did we take a vote?
We did, Commissioner. We just adopted 31624.
Okay, we can go back to the resolution that we skipped over.
Would you like it read again into, we already read it into the record?
Yeah,
and it was
just
already-
for the, let's do it again, just to be on
Okay.
top of it.
Okay. Resolution number 31424, resolution authorizing an economic development agreement with One Columbus to conduct economic development activities on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners in the amount of $1 million.
And at this time, I'd like to ask Prosecutor Janine Hummer to comment on this resolution.
Morning, Janine Hummer, First Assistant Chief Counsel, Franklin County Prosecutor's Office, on behalf of G. Gary Tyak, Prosecuting Attorney. This resolution involves President Boyce serving on the board of the entity that is subject to the resolution. Commissioner Boyce, you are appointed in your official capacity to this, although it isn't in the resolution because members of the Board of Commissioners traditionally are appointed just by virtue of their standing as a commissioner, and there's a rotation of this. I've reviewed it and determined that, but for your elected capacity, you would not be on this board. You serve in your official capacity. Therefore, by the ethics rules, you are permitted to vote on this because it is expected that there is a automatic built-in conflict of interest that is made by your official capacity. Although there's not a conflict with this resolution, the fact that you are engaged in it and serve on the board is permissible.
Great, thank you. Please continue.
Thank you for that clarification. Commissioners, this resolution seeks your approval to authorize the 2024 annual partner agreement with One Columbus to support their Central Ohio regional economic development activities, focusing on new business development, job creation, and job retention in Franklin County. As a result of these activities, it is anticipated that Franklin County will benefit from the creation of 2,500 jobs. Pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there, excuse me, if there's no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 31424.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31424 has been adopted. Resolution number 31724, resolution authorizing the execution of the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Ada C. Wallace at 3743 Aberdeen Avenue, Mifflin Township, Ohio, 43219.
Commissioners, our last resolution seeks your approval to authorize the execution of a discharge of mortgage for Ada C. Wallace. The borrower, received a housing assistance grant on December 4, 2008 in the amount of $1,400 from Franklin County Commissioners. The borrower has paid off this loan and fulfilled all loan obligations. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 31724.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31724 has been adopted.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you. You
Thank
too.
you. Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 31824, resolution authorizing receipt of an FY 2022 Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Grant Program from the Office of Criminal Justice Services and granting authority to the county administrator to sign all acceptance documents and waivers related to the grant program in the amount of $200,466.67.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Rochelle Pride, Director for the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. The Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Program funds assist state and local governments to develop and implement substance abuse treatment programs in state and local correctional detention facilities. Acceptance of the award requires a 25% cash or in-kind match in the amount of $66,822.22, making the total award $288.89. These funds will be used to support various justice initiatives designed to provide case management, cognitive behavioral coordination, harm reduction, and linkages to transportation and transitional housing, as well as access to vital records. A portion will also be committed to our Male Pathways and Females Pathways program to ensure capacity, as well as a revamp of the model in moving individuals into treatment and other resources. Pending any questions, we ask your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 31824.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31824 has been adopted. Resolution number 31924, resolution authorizing 7 sub-grant awards for juvenile justice and delinquency prevention programming under the FY 2022 Title II Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Formula Block Grant in the amount of $235,000.
Franklin County is awarded the Title II Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Block Grant funding from the Ohio Department of Youth Services for the purposes of developing and/or enhancing youth delinquency prevention programs in Franklin County. The dollars align with the goals that are outlined in the Title II Juvenile Delinquency Program, and it focuses on positive youth development, enrichment activities, addressing risk factors, and increasing access to mentoring and positive role models. The programs that will be supported through this funding is the All That Program, Community Helping Individuals Prepare for Success Program, Breaking Barriers, Children of Valor, Central Ohio Youth for Christ, Positive Youth Development in Franklinton, Femergy Grow Your Future Program, For My Wish Foundation Youth Engagement Program, the Godman Guild Association Youth and Young Adult Workforce Development, and lastly, the Ohio State University Life Sports Program. Pending any questions, we would request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 31924.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 31924 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Human Resources.
Resolution number 32024, resolution authorizing a contract modification with United Healthcare Services to add additional services to the existing contract for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program in the amount of $450,000 for a revised contract amount of $11,250,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Jody Lease, Assistant Director of HR over Benefits and Wellness. This is the first amendment to the existing contract with United Healthcare, which was executed in 2023. It adds 4 programs to the existing contract. The first program is Precision Medicine. This implements a 9-month pilot program to provide expanded genetic testing and risk detection for breast and ovarian cancer, colorectal cancer, and early onset coronary artery disease. Our plan currently covers these tests, but individuals must have a family history or other detectable risks in order to be approved for said testing. This pilot program expands access to all adult members on the plan and wraps genetic counseling around the testing. The second program is an additional health engagement nurse that brings our total of HENs, which we call them, to 3 who support our membership. Our HENs work directly with agencies on agency-specific initiatives. They engage with cooperative members at biometric screenings, and they receive referrals from multiple other programs and vendors for outreach to our cooperative members. They are one of the most effective tools in our toolbox to assist members and improve health outcomes. The third program is the doula reimbursement program. This program implements reimbursement of up to $3,000 per pregnancy for in-person doula services before, during, and after birth. United Healthcare processes the reimbursement request much like a claim, and they issue payment to the member. There is no network that the member must choose a doula from, so they are free to choose whatever doula they wish to choose. However, the doula must be certified. And the fourth program is a Fertility Solutions Program. This will be implemented around Q3 of 2024, and it marries the virtual resources available through our MAVEN program with a pod of UHC nurses experienced in fertility services and resources. The specialized pod of nurses will assist members pursuing artificial reproductive technology, such as IUI and IVF, and they help them understand the coverage that is available through the health and pharmacy plans, as well as identifying clinics and network resources that are available to our members. The addition of these programs increases the contract NTE by $450,000. Pending any questions, comments, I request approval of this resolution.
Yeah, I just have a quick comment.
Please.
President Boyce, yeah, thank you for bringing this resolution. Thank you to administration and to the work that you do to continue to move forward in a progressive manner to provide healthcare options for our residents. Obviously, the genetic testing can be very expensive, out of pocket, and a lot of people don't get it, but we know that that absolutely will save lives. And when we think about health being wealth and taking preventative measures that and being able to know your risk factors, especially for cancer, it's going to be life-changing for a lot of people. But then also for the reproductive health coverage for fertility and for doulas, we make doulas accessible for our community members, and we invest in that through Franklin County Public Health. Why would we not do the same thing for our staff? So just want to continue to say thank you for looking at ways to provide more healthcare access, but then also administration for bringing these resolutions forward.
Well said.
All right. Excuse me. So if there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 3/2024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 3/2024 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Purchasing.
Resolution number 3/2124, resolution authorizing the county administrator to approve purchase orders not to exceed $5 million per weekly purchase order batch in the amount of $90 million.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Ballinier, Director of Purchasing. Commissioners, I'm going to defer to Janine Hummer, First Assistant Prosecuting Attorney and Chief Counsel, to provide details of this resolution.
Commissioners, Janine Hummer, First Assistant and Chief Counsel, Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. This resolution is merely an update to the previous resolution where we have expanded the dates and added an additional level of notification to the county commissioners when and if this happens, to allow a turnaround notification of within 30 days to make sure that the commissioners know when this happens. We also added a level of requirement that the county administrator must provide justification by virtue of the necessity of executing a purchase order based on the necessity of keeping the county business moving forward.
Great. Thank you.
Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
What is the what's the time frame on this purchase order?
We expanded the time frame so it is until January, but we added, because it's a longer time frame, what we did was we added a requirement to make sure that the county business, that's necessitated by county business moving forward.
So this isn't just purchase. this isn't just amendments to the contracts or
No.
like what we already have right
Nope,
here. This
it
is
is not.
new.
This is just the purchase order piece of matters.
Okay, all right. If there's no comments or questions, move for approval.
Wait, I think Administrator Wilson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. I was, this had been in place. This was an expansion of the time period for it to be effective between now and January 7th of 2025. So this is this board has granted me the authority to do no-cost amendments. And in the case of a necessity to keep county business functioning, to take actions is what this resolution also speaks to. And it's a new requirement that within 30 days of any action I would take, I would report that to the board. That would be reported to the board.
And I'm sorry, Commissioner.
I don't have anything.
And just to be clear, this isn't our first, this is kind of last resort kind of thing if we're.
Absolutely.
So
That's
it's-
why
that's
we
not a
added
repurchase.
actually the language to make that point.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, if there are no additional comments, move for approval of Resolution 32124.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 32124 has been adopted. Resolution number 32224, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,794,225.42.
Commissioners, joining me in presenting this resolution is Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This resolution requests your approval of 66 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. And I'll turn it over to Tamika for the SCBE data.
Good morning. 11 of the purchase orders being presented today are being awarded to small and emerging businesses totaling $167,503.73. 2% are being awarded to disadvantaged businesses, 2% to small businesses, and 14% to women-owned businesses. Once these are approved, 6 agencies have provided equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week. These agencies include the Court of Common Pleas, Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court, Economic Development and Planning, Engineer, Public Facilities Management, and the Sheriff's Office. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 32224.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 32224 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 32324, resolution authorizing an application to the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas for the employment of Teeter Westfall and a contract to serve as special counsel relating to litigation matters.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution, as well as the next 2 resolutions, would authorize special counsel to deal with conflicts in various litigation matters. The first resolution is the approval of employment of attorneys from the law firm of Teeter Westfall. The resolution authorizes the prosecuting attorney's office to obtain the court order, and then once the court order is obtained, would authorize the county administrator to enter into any necessary agreements. A purchase order was opened at the start of the year to pay for the services for this and the following 2 agreements. Pending any question, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 32324.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 32324 has been adopted. Resolution number 32424, resolution authorizing amendments to the contract with Eastman and Smith Limited to serve as special counsel relating to litigation matters.
Commissioners, pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 32424.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 32424 has been adopted. Resolution number 32524, resolution authorizing an application to the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas for the employment of Freeman, Mathis, and Gary LLP and a contract to serve as special counsel relating to litigation matters.
Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 32524.
I'm sorry, second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 32524 has been adopted.
Thank you. Are there any generalizations?
We have one. The document that has presented to each of you today has been provided to your offices via email and is being journalized as required under Resolution Number 68323, the no-cost amendment resolution. The clerk's office has been tracking each contract that is signed under this authority, and the list will be provided to you. It will be captured in today's minutes.
Outstanding. That concludes our regular agenda session for today. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Happy Tuesday.